floodgates are literally open here in the Tucson sector, and there are 141 different gates along the southern border, and the majority of those are open, and the majority of those are open by the federal government. So we talk about how busy the Tucson sector is, and they do this every single year. So what's the problem? Well, the Tucson sector is known for gotaways, for people trying to evade law enforcement, so they're not generally coming through an open door. Well, now they are, and they're doing it by the hundreds.
Well, we sound like a very serious country. Joining me now, I'm excited about this, Victor Avila. He's a retired ICE agent. He's also running for Congress in Texas's 23rd Congressional District. Now, how many candidates for office do I ever have on this show? Hardly ever, right? But how many times have I said to get involved in primaries? Primaries are why the GOP sucks, because we never show up in primaries. And now we have losers like Gonzalez representing Republicans in Texas. So before we get to Gonzalez and why he's pathetic, let's talk to the expert himself. Victor, first of all, okay, the border is open on purpose. Do I have that right?
You have it 100% correct. This is deliberate. It's been deliberate since day one. And I'm here to tell you the truth of what's happening at the border. It's still happening. That clip you just showed is a disgrace of why would we even have to build the wall if we're going to open the gates to it? This is lawlessness is what it is, Jesse, at the southern border from Arizona, California, and in Texas where I'm at. I just got back from Eagle Pass, Texas, and it's the same story. You see buoys on the river, you see the razor and all the stuff around the border. It doesn't matter. They're coming around. They're still coming in. In El Paso, Texas, 6,000 a day are coming into this country allowed illegally by this administration. They're the number one aiders and abettors through the help of a bunch of NGOs facilitating their transportation into the interior of our country.
Victor, you know what? We're going to circle back to the NGOs in a minute, because this is a part of this a lot of people don't fully grasp, but you're retired ICE. I'm not. From the outside looking in, this sure appears to me to be intentional. I don't see how I could take it any other way, that they want the country flooded with illegal immigrants. But you were in the belly of the beast. Is that how you take it?
Absolutely. And for several reasons. At first it was, could it be just the votes? They want, more Democrat votes. And sure, that's still possibly the possibility. But here, I think it's more sinister than that, and I think it's deliberate in the fact that they want more representation. Remember, this administration, the Biden administration, one of the first things they did when they hit the White House is undo the rules of counting of the census, and they want illegal aliens counted. And you and I know what that means: more people to be counted, more representations in Congress, so they'll always have control, at least of the House. And so this is another thing that it goes deeper than that. It's not just this, it's politics, but I think, in my heart, I think they're fundamentally changing the fabric of our country as we know it.
Okay, now before we get to your race and why you're running, speak about the NGOs. People don't understand how this works. They don't make the connection. Wait a minute, there's non-government groups aiding illegal immigration. How's that legal? Why is this happening? Can you explain it?
It's a moneymaker, Jesse. These non-governmental organizations, a lot of different groups, some bigger than others, something like names like Catholic Charities, Endeavors, are making billions, that's with a B, of our money, our taxpayer money, State Department money, Soros-funded groups, receiving money to only one thing and one purpose, is to aid and abet the entry of illegal aliens into our country. They are located in Central America, down in the Darien Gap in South America, and of course on the Mexico border and on our side of the border as well. And these are the people that have logistically organized the movement of the people. It's a great endeavor, and they have taken it to where they will put them in these facilities. Border Patrol processes them. These are the ones that want to come up, by the way, and turn themselves into Border Patrol. They process them, put them on buses, put them in facilities, put them on airplanes, and here you go. Distributed everywhere in our country. And it's the NGO that is doing it. By the way, the help of the United Nations as well. Heavy presence in Mexico, Central America, and South America as well. This is where our money is going. Do you agree with that? Do you want our money to be used to facilitate the entry of illegal aliens. And when I say this, I say very frankly, I'm all for legal immigration. I want people to come to this country the right way. What you're seeing right now is completely illegal. Even when they turn themselves into Border Patrol, these processes of issuing paroles, of issuing work permits, and bringing them through the CBP One app and process, all that is completely illegal. And these individuals are going to find themselves without any status in 2024. They're thinking that they have some kind of right to be in this country, and they don't. Mostly because they didn't do it the right way. Second of all, they haven't been vetted. We don't know who they are. We don't know what they want. Chinese nationals, Middle Easterners, Africans, forget the Mexicans and Central Americans. I'm talking about 150 different countries of people those countries sending their people into our country, but we don't know what the intention they want. Do they just want to be taken care of by our taxpayers? Or is there more to it to that, especially when you talk about the Chinese nationals?
Victor, let me ask you something. A jaw-dropping stat I heard, but this was a few years ago, 4 years ago, that with all the millions and millions of illegals we have in the country, that there are only about 6,000 people at ICE, and only about 3,000 of those are actually guys who go out and arrest and deport people. Please tell me I was misinformed, and that number is wildly under where we actually are.
I wish you were wrong, but no, we have about 7,000 HSI agents, which are the special agents, what I used to do. These are the criminal investigators investigating any crime that has a nexus to the U.S. border. Then you have the other side of ICE, ERO, enforcement removal operations. These are the ones that are supposed to be out there in the interior of our country doing the worksite enforcement, looking for the criminal illegal aliens. And I have friends that work there. Their hands have been tied as well. That enforcement is almost been abolished. Remember, they told us they were going to abolish ICE, and they didn't have to do it economically by stopping the money. They abolished ICE by taking away their authority. And so you have no one basically going inside the country looking for these illegal aliens. And I'm talking about serious criminals here. I'm talking about rapists. I'm talking about murderers. I'm talking about cartel members. I'm talking about money launderers. I'm talking about people that do not belong in this country. And then on top of that, they come in here and commit more crimes. Just last week, Jesse, an 11-year-old little girl was raped and murdered in Texas by illegal alien from Guatemala. We could talk a whole show about these victims in this country. And I tell people, listen, by the time, if you hope it never happens to you, if you become a victim of a crime of illegal alien, it's too late. This is part of the awareness that they're coming here and committing crimes. New York is now suffering from what I've been talking about for years. All of a sudden, they don't want them there because it's affecting the school systems. It's affecting their healthcare systems. The emergency rooms are used like their primary care facility and doctors. And of course, the criminal justice system. I go around the country. I was just in Alabama. I was just in Oklahoma. And the police officers, the chiefs of police, the sheriffs are overwhelmed, not only with our own crime. We have our own crime in search of crime, but now they have to deal with cartel, drugs, fentanyl, methamphetamine, and the crime associated with the open border system that this administration has deliberately handed to us.
Victor, I'm not going to ask you to say anything about him, although you're free to, but I absolutely despise the worthless piece of trash you're running against in this primary, Tony Gonzalez. I just really do not like him. We don't get involved in primaries. We don't get involved in primaries, and then we complain that the GOP sucks. Well, people have to start getting involved in primaries. We have a prime opportunity right here to vote for you instead of Gonzalez, don't we?
You absolutely do, and this is one of the reasons why. And it's very, I mean, these are the words from the constituents of District 23 that tell me they feel betrayed. They voted for someone that he said that he was going to represent as a conservative with an R in front of his name, and has done completely the opposite in Washington, D.C. If that's not a betrayal, then I don't know what is. And it's his votes. He votes with the left. Same-sex marriage, gun control. That I'm talking about voting for gun restrictions and red flag laws. He was solely responsible for blocking H.R. 29, which is the biggest border security bill that I saw and I reviewed along with my friend Tom Homan. And he blocked it, and he was happy to kill the bill. He is right now pushing a new law to bring in more foreign workers with visas. This is not the representation that we need, not only not in this district, not in the state of Texas, and definitely not in the United States. I bring integrity. I bring my experience of having worked there, been there, done that. You know what I went through, Jesse. I almost lost my life in the line of duty. My partner was killed next to me in Mexico. I survived being shot 3 times by that cartel. I have stared evil in its eye. I know the imminent threat that we face by these criminal organizations. I know that we have to deal with Mexico in a very different way, and these other countries, they have to be held responsible, and the burden needs to be shifted back to them. Somehow we took on this burden of having to take care of the entire world. Well, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of being a conservative. I'm not afraid of putting America first. You see me as a Hispanic American. Let me tell you, I'm born and raised in El Paso, Texas, and I'm a Texan, and I'm an American. And it doesn't mean that I ignore my heritage or I hate my heritage. That's nothing to do with that. It has to do with protecting our sovereignty and respecting our laws. Not only is this administration disrespecting us and this incumbent, it's the rest of the world disrespecting our own sovereignty and our Constitution. And I've had about enough. I want to be that one in person that you're going to get. There's nobody like me in Washington. They need me there in this Homeland Security Committee and this Intelligence Committee to tell them exactly what is going on, what I've seen with my own eyes, what I continue to do on a daily basis here on the border to protect our state and country. And so I hope people are able to jump on and support me at victoravilaforcongress.com. I need your support. Let's primary. This is why this system was set up, right? And I say the same thing. Give me a chance. And if 2 years you say, you know what, Victor's crazy, he's not doing anything, then kick me out. I'm okay with that. This is not going to be a career for me. I'm at a point where I need to continue to fight back as a warrior that I've been all my life, not just in my personal life, but in my professional life. I want to have that opportunity to have a voice for the people, to give the power back to them. I don't want the power. I want the power of the people to speak what they want. And right now, they're being 100% ignored by this incumbent.
Victor Avila for Congress.com. Go support the man. You say you're tired of the GOP, this is how you change it. Victor, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jesse.
I have great news. If you enjoyed that, I have a YouTube channel you can subscribe to. Whatever I do, it'll be right there on YouTube. So go subscribe today.